Hey, what's up guys? John here. If you're friends or anything like my friends, we talk about money a lot. Always talking about different investment opportunities, where we should allocate capital, what opportunities we think are going to do really well in this new normal that we're living in, where certain industries are likely going to fail and others are going to do extremely well. For example, if you look at Miso Robotics and Boston Dynamics, a lot of these robots they're coming out with, they have a lot of potential long term. Some of these companies might go bust. Some may do 10, 20, 30x your investment. But looking at things more from a stable asset class right now that has maybe a bit more history, we look at certain things like crypto and gold. Crypto, I have one friend that messaged me yesterday that has 100%, literally 100% of everything he has is in Bitcoin. It's in a cold storage wallet, doesn't have a single penny at a bank. And he believes that that is a better place than having diversified investments. I completely disagree. But I don't like the idea of being 100% in everything. I wouldn't want to be 100% in cash. I wouldn't want to be 100% in real estate. You never know what can happen. But this one billionaire, John Paulson, who became a billionaire by betting in the housing market. I'll tell you a little bit about him, but he became a billionaire, one of the wealthiest billionaires in Wall Street, and he said that crypto is going to zero and tells investors to buy gold. It's interesting that he says this, and then just a few weeks ago, Sam Zell, who is one of America's biggest landlords, residential units owned, equity residential, it's like top 3 landlords in the country. He talked badly about gold for a very, very long time, saying you pay money to store it and it gives you no return. That was my thought for a very long time as well. So why would I buy gold when I have to pay to store it and I'm not receiving any type of dividend on that investment? And I never wanted to invest. But now, just recently, I made a very sizable investment into precious metals. I may even do an unboxing on this channel where I unbox it because I'm going to see it very, very soon. So consider subscribing if you want to watch that. It might happen in the next week or so. But this is what he said. A billionaire investor who called the 2008 crash says that crypto's a bubble, it's going to zero. And this is who he is. John Alfred Paulson is the American billionaire hedge fund manager. He leads Paulson & Co., a New York-based investment management firm he founded in 1994 and has been called one of the most prominent names in high finance and a man who has made one of the biggest fortunes in Wall Street history. So he's definitely someone that is worth entertaining what they have to say. He has a track record. He seems very articulate. Legendary investor John Paulson trashed crypto and recommended gold in a wide-ranging interview with Bloomberg. He described crypto as a limited supply of nothing, referring to its fixed quantity that some coins have. Paulson told Bloomberg that he was newly bullish on gold and a hedge against rising inflation. That was a conversation that I had with my friend, the one that's 100% in Bitcoin. I said, in the event that we stepped into an economic collapse, everything just went belly up, how would Bitcoin do? And his argument was crypto would do good because it's a hedge against inflation. People won't trust the dollar. They're going to pour more capital into Bitcoin. However, if that is not true, then ultimately all he has is computer code, which I'm not sure how valuable that would be. Same could be said with gold. Same could be said with precious metals. However, I believe precious metals has a longer history, and I think it would probably do better in the event of some type of collapse. I think what would happen in a real collapse is that a lot of the weak hands would fold that are holding Bitcoin and a lot of these altcoins. Those hands would fold out of panic and fear. Maybe they don't have the capital, the reserve capital, so they're just going to sell. And then what I think is going to happen is traditional market manipulation. A lot of the whales are going to start dumping to sell more fear so that they can buy it back on the cheap. And that's what would happen. That's how I see it. I think they would see, hey, this is a really good opportunity. Let's really start selling this fear. Why don't we all pitch in some money? A couple whales pitch in 100K, 200K, 300K to start running a lot of bad press about Bitcoin, about the amount of energy it consumes, about regulations, just making up a bunch of stuff. And they start running out all these headlines, and people start thinking, wow, there's going to be new regulations in China. There's going to be new regulations here. This is happening. This is happening. People start panic selling, and then they go in and they scoop it up cheap. That would make the most sense for me. That's what I think would be a good investment for those whales. And if you look at the actual capital that would be allocated to these journalists to actually produce these articles and the amount of money that they would benefit from having done that. Legendary investor John Paulson, who bet against the housing market in 2008, made him a billionaire, trashed crypto, recommended gold in a wide-ranging interview. I would say cryptocurrencies are in a bubble, said Paulson, who last year quit the hedge fund business after netting $20 billion. He described crypto as a limited supply of nothing, referring to the fixed quantity that some coins have, including Bitcoin's 21 million token cap, though others have no such limit. Cryptocurrencies, regardless of where they're trading today, will eventually prove to be worthless. Once the exuberance wears off or liquidity dries up, they will go to zero. I wouldn't recommend anyone to invest in cryptocurrencies. Asked why he doesn't just short crypto, Paulson pointed to the asset class's outsized volatility, saying a short bet could run up in the short term even if it proved right in the long term. Paulson, who tended to favor buying gold, told Bloomberg that he was newly bullish on precious metals, citing its tendency to perform well during high inflation periods, which I believe is inevitable. We look at how much money, 40% of the USD supply, has been printed in the last 18 months. You have Biden talking about this $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. They're already talking about new stimulus packages. Newsweek's talking about a $2,000 a month UBI. Like, they're going to print a lot of money. Then on top of that, you have increased wages, increased taxes, increased cost of goods and services. Everything's going up. So if you look at gold's chart over recessionary periods, it tends to do very, very well. He then goes on to say, as inflation picks up, the logical place to go is gold, said Paulson. But because the amount of money trying to move out of cash and fixed income dwarfs the amount of investable gold, the supply and demand imbalances will cause gold to rise. Some academics have looked skeptical on the gold as an inflation hedge view. An influential 2012 paper by Duke professor and a former portfolio manager found that gold's inflation hedge properties only hold for the time horizons as long as a century. On shorter timescales, the relationship breaks down, they found. Crypto fans and gold bugs have at times been at odds, even camping, offering their preferred asset as the best hedge against inflation. The most common mistake investors make, according to Paulson, is looking for get-rich-quick schemes or buying based on a story rather than based on fundamentals. And then they chase investments that are going up, and ultimately those investments deflate and they lose money soon. And no one has all the answers. I study, I read, I talk to very, very smart people like almost daily, getting their input, getting their ideas. But we're all in this together, and if you don't play it right, or I don't play it right, people don't play it right, then you miss out on a generational, once in a generation opportunity to make a ton of money. This is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in history right now. And we're watching it happen day by day. It's insane, but it is a good opportunity. I always like to see the positive sides. A lot of people are upset about what's happening. You could be that, but ultimately it wouldn't have any net result. It wouldn't change anything. So the best thing, I think, is to play things smart. And when things do crash, which I think is inevitable, they can't keep propping this up forever. They can't prop up real estate market forever. They can't keep the eviction moratoriums, which they just let go, and forbearances, which they are now going to start foreclosures. They can't stop the inflation. They can't keep interest rates at zero. Everything that they have going on is on a time clock. And when this runs out, we're going to see opportunities. So have capital in different asset classes where you can move around and you're not going to be 100% wiped out in the event that something goes wrong. I had a conversation with my wife, this was maybe a week ago. I said, I want to have 10 streams of income, each one alone that I could live off of, or we could live off of. Because in the next 5 years, I believe 5 of them will go to zero, and 5 of them will do extremely well. And she said, that makes sense. And that's what I think is key. A lot of income streams, and being diversified and having a lot of capital, having options. Drop your comments below. Curious as to what you guys think about all this. Subscribe here and consider subscribing to my personal channel. I'm probably going to consider doing that gold unboxing later this week. And I also bought a watch that I'm thinking about doing an unboxing as well. A gold Daytona with green dial, maybe the next couple days. Smash that like button, please. I'll see you guys in the next video. YouTube Success Blueprint. If you've enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into growing your YouTube channel and create passive income as a YouTuber, check out my YouTube Success Blueprint by clicking the link in the description below this video. One of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, once said, opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put out a bucket, not a thimble. I get the feeling that many men and women today are using thimbles instead of buckets. The truth is that we're in a huge wave of opportunity. I'm not suggesting that the current situation hasn't caused any financial damage to people's lives, because it certainly has. You may be one of those who have been fired, transferred, demoted, or had his assets repossessed. When looking up my own channel statistics on Social Blade, you can see that I was able to grow from a mere 11,000 subscribers to 120,000 subscribers in just 15 months. You could do this too, and I want to show you how. My YouTube Success Blueprint is a complete A to Z guide that teaches you the necessary steps in order to get your channel up and running within a few days. YouTube is an explosive avenue where you can earn thousands of dollars based simply on uploading videos and monetizing them for views. Think of a bridge with a toll on it. That is a video that's monetized on YouTube. It also serves as a great channel to capture leads and potential new clients. Personally, I'm receiving roughly $30,000 per month in video views through Google AdSense just by people watching my videos on YouTube with 120,000 subscribers. This number is likely only going to grow as more and more people become accustomed to using YouTube. We have roughly 2.3 billion monthly users on YouTube, and I could see that number hit 3 billion in no time. To learn more about growing your YouTube channel and creating passive income as a YouTuber, register for my YouTube Success Blueprint by clicking the link in the description below this video.